Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I can hear it. There
Hello?
you are. All right.
There's no
Uh,
way this is going to work first time.
hello, Scott.
Just like Apollo 13. Fuck yeah, we're going to the moon.
Ah,
Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You big dummy. Oh, great Odin's raven.
Say hello to my little friend!
I stepped in a ditch last night, man. I almost closed my balls off, man.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day. Good. What's the problem?
Yeah, Daisy.
Oh, we know punchy beer well without.
I'm the doctor.
Gangster, what's up, guys?
This aggression will not stand, man.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
hey, everyone. Welcome to the Pulp Culture Cafe. Oh, shit. I didn't even check to see what this is. Season 13 and episode blah, blah, blah. Okay? There you go, folks.
Yeah.
In a couple months, I'm changing the format completely. It's still gonna be us on Wednesday, on whatever Wednesdays and stuff, but no season 13. It's gonna be whole thing be done. Does that make sense to me? Mumbling through that, it doesn't fucking make sense to me. No, okay.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, okay, great, good, love it. Okay, so let's get this boat on the road, gentlemen. I'm here with myself. Not my cat's down the hall. With Paul, our international correspondent, and
Hello.
local newsman, Scott Tits McGee.
Hello.
What the hell? Something else. What do you? Scott Wilson now?
Scott Wilson, I said to myself, I just needed a generic name, but if you look at the picture now, it's Stan Lee.
Yeah. And what the
I
fuck?
noticed that. Yeah.
Stan Lee.
Is
Yeah.
that a real photograph of Stan Lee?
That
Yeah.
is a real photograph. I found it about 2 weeks ago, and I said, okay, I found my new avatar.
Yeah.
There you go. That is Stan Lee. That is a real Stan Lee picture.
That must be at the Playboy Mansion.
Oh no.
He went there. He
Yeah.
went there a lot. That was never mentioned, but he went there a lot. Him and Hugh Hefner were
no
good
doubt.
friends.
Yeah.
No doubts. Yeah.
Wow.
He was a naughty boy.
He was all about that lifestyle.
So we're just gonna stop quickly. We'll get into more of it later on after the show, but just a quick couple things. I'm gonna bring up not so much what I've watched, but I'm gonna bring this up. When I was traveling, we're just talking about. I was traveling across the country. I was listening to podcasts, and I have mentioned this to. I don't remember if I even talked. Maybe Scott. Maybe I did. I was listening to the Dust, which has that YouTube channel on YouTube, right, where they show independent, small science fiction
one.
movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, they have a podcast too, and they have original stories on there. And I haven't listened to them all. They break down into season 2, and they're 5 years of content, but it's not like constantly every week. But I found it really interesting. Really good science fiction stories. And the one I was listening to, I've got to finish, is called Flight 008, which follows 8 different passengers from a flight that disappeared 20 years ago and turns up 20 years in the future. And how these people have to adjust to it in a different environments and stories and what they've gotten into. So that was really good. And now I've tried to find it. I haven't listed it, but I think this is the title. It's called A Ghost in the Machine. This one I found really interesting because it starts off with a bunch of religious it's not Earth religion. It's a different planet religion. That's what I'm trying to get out. but what it comes up to is this little lady who was working for this company, got fired from the company. She then creates simulations at home through this computer system where she's taken a Earth-like planet and then changes which creatures evolve on it to see which ones were best suited to keep the planet going. And she says every simulation she ran with everything that always ends up, the planet dies. The civilization kills itself, except for this one. And it's really interesting to hear as she sets these different parameters or different things that they have to go through. You see her, you talk about, then you hear the creatures in the simulation having to go through it, and you hear what they go through. It is really good. I really enjoyed it so much, and if you can even just find this one episode, I think it's Ghost in the Machine and Dustin, let's do it. It is so good. It is so, I really like. I probably will listen to it again. I enjoyed it so much. So, wow. And then there's one.
I'm going to look for that right now.
But there's other ones in there. One where a lady, she's set into this machine where she goes in, and then like a few hours later she comes out, but she does not remember anything that happens. And the law enforcement come in after this guy to find what's going on, and that has a really good twist at the end of it too. So I highly recommend, if you want something just quick, they're like 15 minutes or so. They're not long.
Is that long?
Yeah.
That's mirrored, isn't it? You can't see it.
Yeah. No, it does. They're not long. I think the longest one was just 45 minutes an hour, but most of them were like 15, 20 minutes. Not very good. I highly recommend it. So that's what I'm going to start my show. So
yeah, I've already signed up to it.
Yeah, there's like 5 years of content, right? So you're not in a rush to listen to them, but I recommend a couple of them. The very starts, Flight 008, which is 8 episodes, and then I think it's Ghost in the Machine, if that's the one. If it starts off with a bunch of mumbling and jingling, you're thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Is this a religious program? Then that's it. So, all right. Well, Paul's going through that. What is a quick thing that you've watched, Scott, that you, that's the... You don't need to go super detail, but like I did, unfortunately.
Quick thing I've watched? Dexter Resurrection. I don't know if one of you have.
No, I haven't watched. I heard of it. I didn't know it started up.
No, I haven't watched any of the Dexters. I know exactly what it is. Never watched it.
A fantastic cast. Listen to this cast: Uma Thurman, Peter Dinklage, Neil Patrick Harris, Kristen Ritter from Marvel fame,
Jessica
Jones,
yeah,
Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family, and I'm just like, it's fantastic for a series and lore that is that long in the tooth to come out with something original. Have Dexter in New York City now, where he started in Miami, and then it was a single episode. He was kind of in the country. This is Dexter in New York, and I'm thinking, God, why wasn't this guy here the whole time? The storylines have been original. There's some really cool callbacks too. Like if you watch the entire series, there's been John Lithgow's been in, Jimmy Smits has been in, a lot of a really great cast, and it's without giving too much away, there's some really cool flashbacks that they didn't delve into it too much. They didn't dig too much into the nostalgia, but the stuff that they did drop in the first couple episodes was pretty cool. His son's in it, and they're kind of building on something, and the actor who plays the son is a great actor. And I could definitely see them continuing the franchises that they wanted to with him. But
he's going to be just like Daddy?
Yeah, to a degree. He's got a little different code. But It's just intricately woven. It's one of those series that when you're watching it, you're thinking they put a ton of thought into a franchise that is. They could have just written it. They could have just. What's the term I'm looking for? They could have just. When you really don't put your heart into it, wrote it in.
Yeah.
You just
send it.
Phoned it in.
They could have just phoned it in, and they didn't. And I'm surprised. Both Susan and I are like, wow, oh my God, we're in episode 3, and it's just fantastic. They breathed new life into the franchise. Ironically, I was actually thinking because Benjamin.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, as soon as you said about him and son, all I could picture is mom. Father and son going away on a hunting weekend. They got their gear and they're putting them in the trunk.
That was last season. Benjamin Piercy is going to be doing a new Punisher series, and I was like, there's a Dexter Punisher crossover that I would love to see in the comics. I'm actually going to send a tweet. I'm going to send a tweet out to Benjamin Piercy who's writing it and just say, look, this is right here. They've done Dexter comics.
We'll
this would be fantastic.
If you do that,
John Bernthal as well.
Yeah. You'll have to make sure you put a note saying, "I will not come after you for anything," because they won't take submissions from. Because
they won't. Unfortunately, Just toss it. Just toss the idea out there and say, "Look, it's not a submission or anything, but I think there's a story here."
Yeah.
And you go from there whether you want to or not. So.
My reward if you did this is seeing the book. I don't need
exactly.
I don't need
that's
anything.
Exactly what I'd say.
Yeah. So
no details, no storyline boards. Just say, "Hey, look, this and this together in a comic. Pretty cool."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And that's kind of what we just watched last night.
All right. Okay, well, we'll move on to Paul, and then we'll go on with the show, man. What's the quick one that you watched? We'll get in more details later on and stuff, but...
Quick one, I'll just chuck in Creature Commandos, because it's fairly new to me over here.
Yeah,
we're
okay.
A few months behind you guys.
Yeah.
But because it's not brand new, I'll just throw it in now. Just to say that I've just finished watching the all 7 episodes just this week. I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
For the first 3-4 episodes, I thought it was outstanding. I thought, this is excellent. This is really good. This is, I like the voice acting. I like the characters. Interesting. It's funny. It's pretty gruesome in places.
Yeah.
The violence is kind of comic book over the top. When Frankenstein started to be in it more, I started to lose interest because, David Harbour does the voice.
Yeah.
David Harbour's great.
Yeah.
But I do not know why Frankenstein needed to be in that. I think they could have written out that part of the plot entirely, and it wouldn't have been missed at all. So I started to drop off it a little bit at that point. I thought this is just completely unnecessary. We could have taken this plot line out. We could have shaved off an episode or 2, and it would have been fantastic. But having said that, I'm looking forward to the next series, next season. Sorry, and I also like how James Gunn is crossing everything over within the new DC cinematic universe, keeping the same actors doing the same voices, even though it's animated. You've got Frank Grillo doing Rick Flag Senior.
Yeah.
I think it's that and Superman, which I'm sure we'll talk about soon.
Yeah.
I think it's a promising start. Really enjoyed the premise of Creature Commandos and what James Gunn's doing with it. Questionable plots, but hey, it was good fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's just move on. We're gonna do news. So get your news out. Anything new? Our news hound, because quite basically is Scott. He's the head of. He's the chief executive officer of news, and he's the only news guy. So.
Colbert Show got shit canned, eh?
Yeah.
That was. There was so many intricacies to that, but the more I've researched it, and of course with the first 48 hours of stuff like that, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of propaganda. It's just where we're at now. But the more I researched into it and found out as much as I could find facts-wise, it had a cast of 200 people. It had 20 writers. It was costing them $100 million a year, and they were bringing in $60 million in revenue, advertising revenue. So there were a net loss for at least 3 years of $40 million a year. So if this was any other entity other than the political slant this has, this wouldn't even be a story. It would be a cautionary tale. You know, you can't run a deficit for $40 million a year and not expect to be your show to be canceled. But there's, of course, obviously there's more to it. You know, the stuff that went on with CBS being sued and them settling the lawsuit. But again, companies do that all the time. They settle stuff out of court, especially if they're going to lose. And everything I've been able to see, they were going to lose because they edited an interview. And again, this would not be a story if it wasn't in the time, if we weren't in the time we in, and who was involved is involved. But you know, when I saw the footage of him out on stage calling his bosses losers for doing what they did, and then found out how much money the show was losing a year. Again, it's not a surprise. It wouldn't be a story. It's just that it's being hyped up in the news now as something other than what it was, which was a cancellation of something that was no longer economically viable. So, but it's just where we're at, you know.
But yeah, like you said, there's a lot more to that story. A lot more to.
It's being made though. It's almost like they're making a show out of the story about the show. It's
well,
really
but
bizarre.
if you check in the background more and find out like who owns Paramount, which just got bought by Skydance. Skydance purchased. They've merged together. Who Paramount Global, the company behind that, the person who's in charge of the FCC, certain aspects of part of the deal that they settled with Trump. It does lead more into, even though it was losing money, that it was part of the settlement, part of the new agenda of CBS. The information I saw was that CBS is now owned by a company that is worse than Fox, as into the right-wing lean, Paramount Global.
Paramount Global, yeah, they're more. I know Warren Buffett put about. This was a story I had actually done in the show about 2 years ago, that he had put 1.2 billion into Paramount at that point in time. So when I heard they were struggling, I was like, "Holy shit! You guys went through that cash that quick?"
And then, but my favorite part is that they paid $16 million to Trump plus whatever, but they gave the guys at South Park $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
And then they throw out that episode with Trump, their premiere episode, unedited.
Yeah, I knew the guys from South Park were pissed off, but I haven't had a chance to delve into the story enough to find out exactly what was going on there.
Yeah.
I knew that it played out over the last week that they were like, "Fuck these guys," and then all of a sudden they got it, and then, you know, as everyone said, and actually the guy from Neurotic, who's usually more right-leaning, he said, "You know what? South Park goes after everyone. Stop being pussies." That was his exact quote. Like, you know, everyone takes a shellacking, and that to me is a sign of today. You know, if someone comes at you, it's almost like being parodied on Saturday Night Live. It's okay. The boo-boo's not going to hurt very long. You can move on. So,
but when you attack his ego, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's just, well, they, you know, it's just where we're at. I try and sift through that shit because it's just garbage, and try and find as much fact-based stuff as I can. But Colbert being canceled, that's a significant shift. And this was brought up, you know, that podcasting and other alternative forms of entertainment have really eaten into that late night talk show format. You know, when you've got product, you know, 20, 30 years ago, late night was king because there was nothing else on. You really didn't have access to anything else. But over the last 20 years, really, with social media and now podcasting, there are other options. So you'd better have a product that people are, it's, must see TV, so to speak. And I looked at some of the ratings actually. Letterman used to bring in like 20 million viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Colbert was about 2.4 million, and he was the top one. Mm-hmm. Colbert was 2.4 million, and then Kimmel came in at like 1.6, and then it just goes down from there. So these late night shows are not bringing in a ton of eyeballs at this point in time, and there's just so much gaming.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that is taking the eyeballs away from it that I'd be very surprised if in 20 years that it's still a format.
A side note that you just mentioned gaming. There's a guy, I was listening to the radio station here in town. I think the guy lives in town. He is just a young guy. He's about 20 years old. He's made enough money from just sitting and playing video games and people watching on YouTube, revenue from that, to buy his first house.
Absolutely furious and jealous as hell.
Yeah. It's like amazing.
It's a big business now.
Yeah.
It's a big business. There's people make an awful lot of money. I mean, you get your YouTubers like Mr. Beast and whatnot that make an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
But, that's how the world works now.
The host... Go ahead, sir.
I've said to you before, I think, about one of the podcasts that I listen to. It's like a video game network. So they do like half a dozen different podcasts about different things, and it's all on the same network. And you subscribe to the network, and you get them all ad-free, and you get them automatically downloaded, etc. And they have different tiers of membership. And I'm on the lowest tier. I pay like $5 a month. And that's great. It's a really good value. I get all the podcasts all ad free. The higher tiers, now let me think. I think the producer level is $50 a month. Producer level.
Wow.
$50 a month. Now I'm not entirely sure what you get for that, but you do get your name read out at the end of the show.
Oh.
And it's when I mean, a couple of years ago, when you listen to the show, it used to read the names out one by one, and it took about 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes just doing nothing but reading names out.
Oh, wow.
And that's the number of people who were paying him $50 a month. Then it went up to 3 minutes. It's now 5 minutes. He spends 5 minutes just reading names out.
Oh, fuck.
We pay him $50 a month for the privilege of having the name read out at the end of each one of the shows that they broadcast. It's crazy. And God alone knows that. I know that he's got something in the region of 13,000 subscribers. So even if every single one of them was on the minimum tier of $5, that's 5 times 13,000 every month that he gets. It's not a small amount of money.
And that's probably through Patreon too.
Yeah, it is. It's through Patreon.
Yeah. So you even think Patreon takes their cut?
Take a percentage.
Yeah.
They'll take a percentage, but he's earning tens of thousands of dollars every month. Just by publishing a podcast every day of the week. Like I say, he does about half a dozen of them. He takes it seriously. He never misses a show. Always has something broadcasting. It's very professional.
Well, that's his job then. Yeah, it's his job.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's how you build up followers and whatnot. I think if we did this more regular, then we'd be on $50,000 a month as well. But who's got the time?
Yeah.
So
that was brought up. They said $100 million a year, and most guys are doing it for maybe $1 million. If that, the more successful YouTubers, and when your expenses are $1 million versus $100 million, and you're doing double the views, sooner or later someone notices, right?
Well,
absolutely.
He says there's that many people watching. There's got to be a whole bunch of different. This is the radio host. There's got to be a whole bunch of different people doing the same thing. And I said, yeah. In my mind, I'm saying, yeah, but you got to remember, there could be a crap load of people doing the same thing. The good will float to the top, but also to the number of shows that are being done, to the number of the audience, which is worldwide.
Yeah, billions. Yeah,
it's really nothing, right? you don't need a lot. You don't need to be totally successful, depending on how successful you want to be. But if you're pulling in, like if I was pulling in 500,000, even fucking 200,000 a year from doing it, I'd be fucking happier than shit, right?
Yeah.
Right. So there's just a level. So yeah, it's weird.
I took a giggle earlier, and because of the story, and this is how absurd it's gotten. And there's an interviewer called Holly Randall. She has really good podcast interviews with people in the adult film industry. Mm-hmm. And this was part of an interview I saw probably 6 months ago. Well, there was a gentleman on there. He had an OnlyFans account. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that he went on there and he took a quick wank 3 times a day. And he brought the receipts of how much money that he made for taking a wank 3 times a day on OnlyFans. Wow. And it was about $5,000 a month at that point in time. He was like, he said, that's not much. She just looked at him like, this guy was just Joe, but he must have some kind of wang on him. And he said, that's it. I solo work. I don't do anything. I don't have partners. I just do that. And she was like, what? It's like, yeah, if you keep steady, and you had mentioned, Paul, if you keep steady and you keep your fans happy, you can make money. And I was thinking to myself, okay. And when we were talking about this whole time, that popped into my mind. I started laughing. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's what you can do. If you keep steady, if you keep your customers satisfied, you can make cash doing fucking anything on these kind of things. So
yeah. There's one of the hosts of one of the podcasts that I listen to. He has an OnlyFans account on the side, and he just caters for foot fetishes. Mm-hmm. All he does, he just puts footage on of his feet. Yeah, that's it. And people pay money. It's like just a side hustle. It just gets extra money just for doing that sort of thing. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just where we are.
I'll just get pictures of my asshole shaved.
It's the mystique. They need to know. If they don't know it's your asshole, it probably makes some money.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
We started with the Colbert Show, and that's where we're gonna end.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a rough week for Gen Xers.
Which one are those?
Ozzy and Hulk.
Okay, so they're like, because am I? I'm Gen something.
Gen X.
Yeah.
Am I?
No. I think I
was born in '62. So yeah, wouldn't that be Gen X?
Yeah. 65. You would be before. I think Gen X is from 65 to 80.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah, but
whatever fucking number that is.
I was at work when someone came up to me, and I was ironically wearing an Ozzy Osbourne shirt when someone told me at work, and I was like, "Fuck." And then the next day or 2 days later, when they mentioned Hulk Hogan, it's two of the guys that if you say the word Ozzy, everyone knows who you're talking about. If you say Hulkster, everyone knows who you're talking about. And their careers are very similar in that aspect. And it's funny, when I was in there, the music, I've gone in, I never realized how much of Ozzy's music I've never even heard. That's how much he's put out, albums and so forth. But Ozzy was, did either of you see footage of the concert, the final Sabbath concert that was done?
No.
I watched 1 or 2 clips on Twitter.
Yeah, he was. The backstory was that he went off pain medication 48 hours beforehand, and that's Parkinson. He was in a lot of pain, but he said, "I want to be lucid for that." And that's one thing, because there was another. Who was it that did that? I mean, Gordon Lightfoot did that, where these musicians, these really guys who love music, who played up until they practically, checked out. That's another example of this. It was 2 weeks ago, and he was on the stage singing.
Yeah.
And that concert raised $180 million for various charities around the world. It all went to charity. And there's a picture of Sharon Osbourne watching it from the stage, and it's just an iconic picture because she's like, you can tell that Ozzy's up there, and he did that for his fans. And that was he is going to be to rock and roll 50 years from what Elvis is, where people are just going to remember him with such love and affection. But what a career, eh? What a career.
Hogan, and I can say about Hogan is like,
But with Hogan, I thought that with Hogan, he should not have said what he said. But I doing the research for this, he has done hundreds of Make-A-Wish stuff. He has given millions to various charities around the world. It's like I don't know. It's one of those things. I was kind of pissed off at the time, and it was heartbreaking at the time. But it's like I can look at it in context. There's so much good he has done in the world that I don't think he should be forgiven for that. But there's more to him than that. And I've always said that about any person. There's more to them than their worst day. So
yeah. Well, that's actually an excellent point. That's a good way of putting it. But I was going to say the same thing about Ozzy and Hulk. I mean, basically, they've both had the ups and the downs. They've both had the controversies. But the impact that they've made on the world is undeniable. Oh. I mean, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, but the impact he had on wrestling as an industry is immeasurable. It's without people like Hulk Hogan. It's like
there's no Steve Austin. There's no Steve Austin. Someone connected the dots on Twitter, and they said all these people's careers, because of the events of Hulk Hogan, that's where their defining moment. Like if Hogan hadn't gone to WCW, Vince McMahon would not have put stock into Steve Austin, who wasn't a big name at that point in time, but Vince had to be creative, and Austin came from that. They connected the dots. There was a lot of it. It's one of those things that I think the conversation's finally settled on Hulk Hogan, because people were saying who had a bigger impact on the industry, Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan, or like a Bruno Sammartino or something. It was Hogan, as much as
I think you'd have to. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah. It has to be. I think anyone objectively would need to admit that. It's like Hulkamania. How many generations of fans did that create over the years? Kids getting into wrestling at an early age and then just maintaining that fandom for years and years and years. It's
kept me off drugs. Kept me off drugs. I mean, seriously, I had my dad was a huge boozer, and I remember, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and don't drink. And to an 11, 12-year-old boy who came from kind of a rough background, that stuff resonated. I think that's where, and I talked to Susan about this. These fatherless kids from the 80s that came up, and you had someone like Ozzy or you had someone like Hulk. You take your father figures where you can find them. And I do specifically remember that. Don't do drugs. Hulk Hogan saying, don't do drugs. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to do drugs. And I didn't. So it's interesting.
Not me. I drink.
Yeah. But I mean, it's these, but with Ozzy, it's, and it's amazing how their careers are paralleled. They both had Hogan Knows Best and the Osbournes. Their careers paralleled each other. But with Ozzy, Gene Simmons actually did an interview, and he said Ozzy never changed. Ozzy was Ozzy. He never underwent these great things to try and reinvent himself. He was Ozzy from beginning to end, for good or for bad.
Yeah. All I can just say is I was more upset with Ozzy than Hogan. Hogan died? Okay, what's next?
But I was surprised at the people who did come out and what they said about Hogan. But the newer kids really didn't. They kind of see that from his career through that one lens. But I'll tell you, back in the day, Hulkamania, 93,000 fans, that's Slam of Andre. That's kind of an iconic moment that is just burned in people's minds of him picking up Andre at the Silverdome Pontiac.
Yeah.
Galactus cosplay. Did you guys see that footage? This is brand new. This is hot off the press. Is that
Galactus
I
saw that
cosplay
that
from
guy
San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah. Wow. No? Wow.
Oh, let me Google this.
Yeah, it's quite the thing.
You gotta see this.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It's imagine
whoever did that, kudos.
Walking in that thing must have been just fucking tough because it was so big. And
Someone took a picture of him with one of the cosplayers with Invisible Girl, and the whole comments are like, she could suck his dick right standing up right there. It was like the whole half of the comment section, she could do it right there. She wouldn't even have to bend down. It's like, fuck, Okay. That's
Okay.
where we're at.
No, I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just needed to watch him. I watched a little bit of him walking through the crowd, and I saw what caught me was the detail of the face and the head. Yeah. So
I've just watched a short clip now. That is impressive.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah,
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You see some shitty cosplay at San Diego, but that's next level. That's a fan who's taking the effort there.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well done. Very well done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What else you got there?
This is actually some comic news. Deadpool and Batman. I'm really looking forward to that series. The more I read about it and the work they put into it, actually some of the art that I'm seeing for the variant art, I may actually buy some of the variant covers just for what they're presenting, because they're kind of taking different characters and they're doing variant covers of them, different characters from Marvel and DC universes. So I think this is going to be successful, and I hope it's the beginning of a relationship between Marvel and DC, because there's always been this pissing match rival between the two companies, and I had no idea why. And it used to be like that in wrestling with WCW and WWE, but the one thing Triple H has done, he has reached out to different groups and started bringing them under the umbrella, and it's worked well, and I think it would for Marvel and DC too. There's a ton of characters that I would love to see crossing over in the universe. It doesn't have to be all the time. Maybe once a year they could do a crossover. It would make money. It would bring interest. I know there's probably a lot of legal properties and issues with any kind of cinematic crossover, but why not? If your fans want it, if it makes sense of the story, why not?
There's not enough money to go around. They might as well start sharing it.
Yeah. What the fuck? I had something popped in my head and then it just left. Ran away.
Deadpool and Batman. I'm looking forward to it. You got Grant Morrison.
I'd buy that. I'd buy Grant Morrison as well.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely getting that. Yeah, 100%. Because I can't think of two more opposite characters.
Yeah. August, either August or maybe September. I think it's August. I think it's coming out next month or so.
Yeah.
Right.
But another one, the quick one that came up, they announced at San Diego Comic-Con, Aliens versus Captain America. It's going to be a 5-issue series written by Frank Thierry. And have you guys read any of the Aliens Marvel stuff?
What did I read?
No.
I read that Aliens. There was only like 4 issues, the big ones. Aliens. They're in the future. Oh fuck! You brought it up.
Really been the future. Well, they've done they've done some standalones, but they've also, what specifically I was talking about was the Aliens versus the Aliens versus Avengers, or Predator
I think that was
Spider-Man. Predator versus Spider-Man. Predator versus Black Panther, Predator versus Wolverine. Benjamin Piercy wrote most of those. They're really fucking good.
Oh.
Like, I was very surprised. He's a great writer. And down the road, if they have a chance to do maybe even a TV series or something like that, they should consider it, because I think it would sell if it was written properly. But yeah, the Predator versus Spider-Man one is out right now, and it's got Kraven the Hunter in it. It's very good. So
that sounds interesting. No, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
I think I'm just trying to think how many Predator verses I've actually read in. I think the only one I distinctly remember is the Batman versus Predator. They did 3 different ones, didn't they?
Yeah, 92, 93, yeah.
Yeah, going back quite a way.
Yeah.
But I distinctly remember, I think it was probably in the first one, where towards the back end of the story, he ends up hitting the Predator in the head with a baseball bat and says, "I'm Batman."
Yeah. So, well, Predator versus the Black Panther. Do you remember in the movies, Wakanda is covered with cloaking technology?
Yeah.
They tied that into the Predator universe. That to me is a sign of something's well written, when you can tie in something from one universe into the other and make it logically make sense. So, and that was one that came out. Well, actually, it's an old review here. I might actually pull it out later on in the show, but it's very well written. I was very surprised how serious that they took it. It makes them, when they do stuff like that and they make them well written. it must be in the back of their head. We may want to use this for a storyboard for a TV series or movie later. So
I've actually gotten really bored of the aliens thing.
I had too. I'm glad they mixed them in with the Marvel Universe because it had the same format. I know what you're talking about, same format where it's like, you'd have a cast of characters. They were going to die. You get the alien at the end. But they've done some different stuff with the Marvel. And I was pretty happy with it.
Predator I'm still kind of interested in. But no, very few of the aliens I pick up because I'm just sick of the aliens. And just a sidetrack, there's that new Aliens Earth TV series coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
looks good. Looks really good.
I'm not really interested.
Well, Earth coming to Earth was always one of those things that with Sigourney Weaver. I think it was 2004.
Yeah. Where
they did Landfall, and people were like, "Fuck," because they never followed up. And that's always been the thing, because all of the aliens have taken place in space, and there's always been fans like, just get them to Earth. And this is the show that's going to get them to Earth. And I love the fact it's a TV show because they're able to flesh it out. The footage I've seen of it looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
We'll see how the show goes, but it looks really good.
In that vein of Aliens Predator, the only thing I'm looking forward is the Badlands that's coming in. I'm not sure if
that looks good too.
I'm not sure if that's in the theater or on Disney.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
November. It's coming out, I believe, in November. I watched the trailer for it the other day, and that whole connection between the Predator and Weyland Yutani, with her, when people saw that on her pod, there was a reaction. It was like when people saw in the Predator 2 when they saw the skeleton in the alien ship. People were like, "Fuck yeah!" And it was the same. And she's a great actress. And as I said, I saw that trailer, and I was sitting there saying to myself, this is going to be very good. I'm going to go see that in the theaters, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. You got anything else you want to hit? And then we'll just go on. If not, we'll just start rambling incoherently.
I can clean it up quite nicely with, this is pop culture. Sydney Sweeney for American Eagle. There is a new marketing campaign. And American Eagle, I wish I'd bought stock in the company a week ago, because I'm telling you, they're about to have a very good year.
What's American Eagle?
It is a denim company.
Yeah.
And she is in 3 different commercials I've seen so far, and it's so fucking well done. It's like, they're literally focusing in on her breasts, and it's like, hey, up here.
Yeah.
And there's one shot of her, just simply doing, pulling down the hood of the car and walking around, and, it's focusing on her butt. But they're so tastefully well done that I was like, this girl must make so much money off advertising. But I'm telling you, American Eagle is going to have a very good month for sales. I read actually, and it's only one article that I read, their hits on their site had gone up like 300%. Just in the last couple of days. But she's becoming the it girl of Hollywood at this point in time. She's incredibly intelligent. She's actually from Toronto, and her story is very fascinating.
Sydney Sweeney's Canadian?
She is Canadian.
Oh, wow.
My understanding, when I researched her a bit before, she was going to university, I want to say in Toronto, and she was a credit away from getting her degree in something. And she fucked off to go do something, to go do actual work, and never did get it. I remember reading about it because when she did that Stones video for Angry, which to me was iconic. It's the first time I had ever seen her. I'd never watched Euphoria. And she became the it girl overnight. She's not a dummy. She's actually very intelligent and has a background in marketing. So
no, she's not.
Yeah,
she's American.
Is she American?
Yeah.
I was reading the story about when she was going to school, I believe in Canada.
Oh, that doesn't mean anything.
Toronto.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
I honestly thought she was Canadian. Where's she from?
Oh shit! I just had it here.
That's fine. It's no big deal. Anyway, watch the videos afterwards, folks. It's a great campaign. Gonna make a lot of money.
I saw something on the internet.
Spokane, Washington.
they were going to pay her to advertise Hooters as well or something. Was that just an internet prank?
Yeah, probably. I mean, she did there was a Canadian company. It was like Sasquatch soap.
Yeah, she did that.
And she had done that, and she made them some money. I mean, you know, it's one of those things that, and it's funny. Someone had put the advertising for American Eagle from 2019 to 2025, and in 2019 they had this rather Rubenesque woman in these jeans.
Yeah,
and
big
people
tits,
were like, "What the
big
fuck?"
bum?
No, yeah, it was like she was a hefty girl, and she was squeezed into these jeans, and they took a tank. It's fucking tanked. I mean, let's just and now they're going to Sydney Sweeney, and it's going up, and people were like, the thing was, we are so fucking back, because there was a lot of shit that was done in the last 7 years. I think people are going to look back 25 years from now and say, what the fuck were we doing? I'm talking about Hollywood stuff where they said, you know what, this is going to be the cool thing. Jaguar learned that the hard way, where they had this really fucked up campaign and it tanked their brand. I mean, if I won't go too much into it, but if you look up Jaguar and tanked brand, I mean, it'll let you know pretty quickly what happened to them. So.
I'm trying to remember. I might have to Google it.
Yeah. Okay, let's end it there, and we'll reboot. Okay. And I'm going to hang up on audio, and that's hopefully. Usually, Paul has the problem.
Yeah, I usually need to reset my teams, but we'll find out in a minute.
Okay.
Well, I can hear Scott.
Yeah, I can hear Scott too.
Hold on here. Let me.
I just can't stop looking at that picture of Stanley.
All right, show more people.
There we go. There's Paul's in focus now. There we go. Okay. All right. Worked this time. So.
Oh, well, full disclosure. I just thought I'm just going to cut out the middleman. I just closed down Teams and boosted it back up again.
Okay.
So,
all right. All right.
It works.
Yeah, it works. Okay, so now we're just going to go on to. We'll just talk about a few things, and anything. So blah 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 blah. Let's talk. Leave that. I
mean, we have some movies to get to.
Yeah. So let's do.
How about some movies?
So let's do the closest one, which would be Superman.
Okay.
Right.
To the newest. Let's talk about Superman. All right. So, blah blah blah. Superman. Okay, I'll give my rating. Not good, not bad. Now you guys go into more in depth.
Good, Paul.
Well, I've seen a couple of Scott's tweets, so I think this is going to be an interesting conversation. But I loved it. I thought it was excellent. Well, no, excellent, strong. I thought it was very, very good. It wasn't perfect. I started to fall asleep when he was fighting Ultraman. The
high part of the show, and you falling asleep. Okay.
Yeah. It's just two super people just punching the shit out of each other.
No, it's okay.
It wasn't my favorite part of the film. And I really lost interest when Superman was fighting the engineer and Ultraman, when she was trying to suffocate him by putting the nanobots into his lungs. I had no interest in that whatsoever. It went on far too long. I didn't enjoy that bit at all. But aside from those two things, like certainly the first 3/4 of the movie, I thought were very, very good indeed, because I was thoroughly entertained. I thought it was great. I thought everyone in it was good. I thought there was some humor in there that worked. I enjoyed the story. I liked the guest characters. Mr. Terrific is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people. Though everybody's kind of agreeing that Mr. Terrific was really good.
I gather that they're thinking of doing a TV series.
Yes.
They're developing a TV series, which I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came out of this very, very well, I think. I think they did Guy Gardner quite well. It was nice to see, because the trailers sort of inferred that he might end up fighting the Justice League or Justice Gang, as they call it in the movie.
Yeah.
But no, it's when they actually went down to confront him and Guy Gardner throws up the green shields.
Yeah.
And they actually just sat and had a conversation, and they were doubtful over the accusations that were being made and this, that, and the other. I thought, that's better. That's better than just punching the shit out of each other for the rest of the movie, because I wouldn't have enjoyed that. But this was it was more interesting. I thought it's just a different sort of it's a different Superman story. I mean, for the most part, the last quarter of it was the same old Superman story, because it was just some incredibly powerful people punching the shit out of each other until one of them won. So, you know, it was mostly an interesting Superman story. And I'm going to preempt something that I think Scott might say about it, because there's, like I said, I've seen a couple of your tweets, and I know that it opened with him, and obviously this is full spoilers because it's been out for a little while. It opened with him having just been beaten up, and then there was sort of half the movie is him just not coming off very well at all. You know, just being not very efficient at being a superhero. But I kind of get that, because they set the story up right at the very start, because they said he's been Superman for 3 years. This is the first time that he's ever been beaten, so you infer from that he's only ever been faced against people that he just could easily overpower, because he's Superman.
And he's only been on a job for 3 years too.
Yeah, so he's never had to develop any skills because he's Superman. And he's only ever come up across people that he can just easily overpower because he's Superman. As soon as he faced a real challenge where he was on an equal footing, if not the inferior person in the conflict, he got the shit kicked out of him. And it threw him. And he didn't know what to do. And he couldn't handle it. And, you know, and it was a struggle. And I get that. And I think that was the point of the film. I think the point of the film was that, look, he's very strong, and he's got all these superpowers, but he's a human being. You know, he's fallible. He makes mistakes and he learns from them. And that's the message that I took from it. And
so there, Scott.
That's kind of fair enough. But like I say, the big thing that I took from it was I was just entertained by it. I love the robots in the Fortress of Solitude. I mean, granted, they were essentially just ripping off K2SO from Star Wars. They even had Alan Tudyk doing the voice. And it was essentially exactly the same character. But I was okay with that, because I fucking love K2SO. And when they introduced essentially exactly the same character, I thought, I'll watch.
But you do know that they're canon, right? That they're actually are in the comic books in the 60s and 70s. The robots.
But it's just the fact that one of them is just essentially K2SO.
I got that.
He's got that attitude. He's got that sort of sarcastic sort of attitude. And I love that. I thought that was really funny. I think being British, I think I appreciate sarcasm. So any humour that leans into that, I'm on board for. So mostly very good. I was very entertained by pretty much the whole thing. I really appreciated the engineer being in it, because I've just come off the back of reading The Authority Omnibus Volume 2. So I've been reading a lot of those type of characters. So when he called her the engineer, and she had those nanobites and that sort of thing, although the character's appearance is different to how it is in the comic, I thought that's cool, because James Gunn does that. He reaches in to comic history and plucks out characters that most people have never heard of, and he puts them front and center, and he does quite a good job of it. Granted, not all of it was comics accurate in every aspect, but I mean, even the best Marvel movies have changed some things about certain characters, so I kind of get that.
But you got to remember, you're doing a comic book movie for the general audience, right?
Yeah. It's got to appeal to a mass audience, but there's got to be enough in there for the comic fans, and I think it pretty much pulled it off. Like I say, not perfect, but very promising. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right, Scott.
To you, Scott.
Yeah.
I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was just there was a lot wrong with it, but there was some good with it too. I'll start with the good first. The CGI looked fantastic. Like that CGI, I mean, there's been some movies over the last 5 years that you've been like, what the fuck were they doing? The CGI in this was crisp. It was beautifully well done. Original. There's a lot of original stuff I had never seen before. I think that helped the movie because from scene to scene, you're like, ooh, I've never seen that before. More of the Justice Gang. That Mr. Terrific and that whole I don't know why the fuck they're not calling it the Justice League, but sure, it's the Justice Gang for now. Like, I just don't get that, but
it's a running joke, I think.
Yeah.
Justice League at some point.
It's explained, but I thought that was well done, and I think that the show coming up with them is going to be they felt like stars. The folks in this felt like movie stars. So if they do have a TV, I think it'll do well. What else? Crypto was good. I love Crypto. Great little CGI dog. No pets were harmed in the filming of this because there was no pets in it.
Even though they had
in it a lot more than I expected as well.
But then you noticed that when we were in the theater, what's that group for pets, animals? PETA said they gave their okay because no pets, no animals are hurt.
Exactly, yeah, and there was none in it. But I think the reason for Crypto being in this so much was for Supergirl. I think at the end when I saw this is Supergirl's pet, I was like, oh, that's why that fucking dog was in the movie so much, because they were setting it up for Supergirl. I think they're gonna bring her and introduce her as kind of a Deadpool-esque type character, where she's going to be sassy and cocky and drunk all the time, which is a very weird thing to do with the character. We'll see how it plays out on the screen.
It's based on that book, Woman of Tomorrow.
I've never read it.
Neither have I. So
yeah. But we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, you read it, Paul?
The one by Tom King that the Supergirl movie is going to be adapted from. It's going to be based on.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah.
Essentially, she's not going to be a Larry drunk all the time. But that is a thing where she goes to galaxies that have got red planets, red suns, so that she can get drunk because essentially she's like a teenager. And a teenager with superpowers, so she goes and gets drunk and parties and has fun. But the story itself was very good. So if it does follow that story quite closely, then I'll be very happy.
Okay, all right.
It should be pretty good.
All right, back to Scott.
Now, you'd mentioned earlier why that Superman, was new with his powers and he got his ass kicked, and that's the reason. But in the other movies, he grew up with grandparents who encouraged him in certain ways, gave him the stability. In this movie, Ma and Pa Kent were basically fucking mud people. It was like, I can't believe that they did what they did with that. I mean, when I heard his mother's voice, I'm thinking, where have I heard that fucking voice before? And I knew I'd heard it. So I went home and I was like, oh my God, that's where I've heard it. The crazy cat lady from the fucking Simpsons.
Really?
It sounds like it's the same fucking voice. Listen to them. Anyone who's listening to this, listen to it afterwards. The crazy cat lady and his mother. It was like, it was like, oh my God, they did the crazy cat lady. But even Pa Kent, there were the few scenes they were in, and they did this. And it's annoying when movies and TV shows do this. Well, they'll have music. And then when they want to manipulate you into thinking a scene is more than it is and more they'll put that music in the background. They did that a bunch of times in the movie where that key Superman theme where they would put it in, and I was like, you're just manipulating me to think more of the scene than it actually is. Just a lot of ball peen hammer activism in this. The first half hour, and I said to John afterwards, I said, if it hadn't changed the tone a bit in the first half hour, I thought this was going to be one of the worst movies I'd seen so far this year.
Really?
The 12 minutes where Lois Lane was interviewing Superman, there's not a man and some women alive who weren't thinking, when you're in a relationship and you say, look, I did this reason. But you did it for the wrong good reasons. and you didn't do it because of this, and you didn't know. I did it to save lives. Yeah, but how did you save those lives? And I was like, every guy or girl's had this conversation with their significant other where it's like, okay, I did it to do good. Yeah, but you didn't do good because you did it this way and not this way. And that 12 minutes, I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And I said to John afterwards, I said that the things that I come into a movie for escapism was featured prominently in that first half hour. The politics, social media, all that crap. And I was, by the end of that 12-minute dialogue where her and Lois Lane is spanking Superman's ass for saving people's lives, I was like, holy shit, I hope the whole movie's not like this. So that was a bit crazy. I didn't like the fact Superman got his ass kicked all the time. And it just seemed like, I know he's new with his powers, I can see that point of view, but I look back to Thunderbolts. I think a lot of people who probably saw this film and enjoyed it so much hadn't seen Thunderbolts, because another problem that I found this film had, they had a massive cast. They had the Daily Planet cast, they had the Justice Gang cast, and what was the other? There was 3 of them that I'd written out. It was like 20 some odd characters. Oh, Lex Luthor's cast. Yeah. They had 20 some odd characters, and there wasn't a lot of fleshing out with these individual characters, I found, so you didn't care that much about them. Whereas with Thunderbolts, they really focused on the characters and made you care about them more than they ever did in the TV series. So that was another problem that I really had with this film, is they didn't flesh the characters out very much at all. What else was there? Yeah, I think that was about it. It's at 431 million now worldwide. It'll probably top out at like between 500 and 500 million. My understanding is the budget was like 220 some odd, and the marketing was about 150. So it'll make money, but not near as much money as the flagship movie that's going to restart that universe should be. One funny thing is, since this movie's been out, I began nicknaming them, and it's for every movie. I nicknamed them the Blowjob Brigade, because there is a group of people who are paid now. They're paid to go to the premieres, and they're given swag, and they just how down on that movie. They never say anything negative about it. It's not even a review. It's just basically, this is the best movie you've ever seen. And over the last 2 weeks, these accounts have just been nonstop. This is the greatest movie. You should take your grandfather to Superman. And that has helped this movie. But I've never seen it or at least not that I can remember, in a long time, where they've taken a movie that I thought was a 6.5 and they've given it a 9. Where people have just been like, this is the best thing you've ever seen. And this propaganda has helped it. So it's not a bad movie, but it's not near as good as it's being made out to be.
But you have to agree that some people do love it, right?
Give it a 9.
No,
What's that?
You do agree that, not everybody's going to see it the same way you do, and some people think it's the best movie they ever saw.
No, but I mean, just when you look at all the movies that have come before, there's just something I can't figure out why this is getting. Well, I can figure out. It's just, when you have a massive corporation that can pour money into, and I don't have a lot of respect for some of these YouTubers because they're just bought and paid for so easily. So, and that's just one example. There's other examples, but it's just all propaganda. You can prop up a movie that 25 years ago would not get the support that it's getting right now.
I'm downloading the movie. I was just the reason I was looking at the screen is that when I have a library card and it's also connected to a bigger service, and so I went and see if I could get Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, so I can download it and read it, and I just did. So I'll give it a read.
Cool.
I don't know. Yeah. I understand what you're coming from, Scott, but this part of me is that because of the internet and stuff like that, people can be more cynical about other people's comments and stuff like that. And you have your right, your own opinion, and that's cool. But sometimes I just think that we put so much emphasis that if you see too many good stuff, that it's false. And I like to try and give it the benefit of doubt that not every one of these ones are generated by paid services. I think one of the things that I've tried to do is
not all of them are. Not all of them are.
I know.
I should paraphrase. Not all of them are. Yeah. It's just there's a group that it's just their accounts do nothing but 100% praise.
Yeah.
And to me, when I see that, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting. So.
Yeah. So
to be fair, one of the threads of the plot, it was that social media is very easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
Yes.
To weaponize information.
Kudos to that. Yeah. Kudos. I realized that when I was watching, I was thinking, y'all know what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll bring a couple things up.
It was good, but it wasn't as great.
Okay. I enjoyed the conversation, showing that he doesn't know what he's doing yet, and the consequences that he does do without thinking about further things shows that by going in and saving that, deciding that, yes, you're going in to save a bunch of people, but you're also deciding the outcome of two nations that are sovereign, even though one's crooked and one's not. Once we find out what's going on, is that, okay, your actions do show that you're going to decide for us what is right and what is wrong. And that could lead to what, even though Lex is a little insane, what his premise is that eventually he might decide that I'm going to take control. I'm the one that's going to decide what's right or wrong. Just that small action. And he's right. He's just went in to save people. That's who he is. He can't stand the idea of, people getting their lives taken away or wasted for that. And so in his mind at that time, that's the right thing to do without looking further into the consequences of his actions. And unfortunately, because of the social media, there are going to be people that will say, look, he saved a bunch of lives, he's a hero. There's going to be people who are going to be saying, yeah, but he decided the outcome. What's going to stop him from doing something else? So that conversation is, Lois is asking him those questions to listen, she, as Lois, she totally understands why he did it. But as a reporter who has to ask these questions to find out these things, she's trying to realize that your actions, even though great at that time, could cause other things to look at it. So I really enjoyed that conversation. Your thoughts on Hot Girl?
I think it was deliberately uncomfortable. I think it was, sorry, I just talked over the top.
No, go ahead, Paul.
I think it was deliberately uncomfortable, intentionally so, because it was a difficult conversation, and you don't like to see Clark and Lois arguing with each other to that degree. But I do agree with you, John, that I think she was just playing devil's advocate because she was interviewing him as a reporter.
Yeah.
So she was challenging him. She was challenging his reasons for doing it, and it was his job to then come back with a good answer, with a good reason as to why he did it, and she was pushing for that.
Yeah,
and he didn't really have one other than, but it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and
which should be good enough.
Yeah. The other thing is your thoughts on Hot Girl dropping that guy. When he says, you can't do that to us. I know who you are. You're a superhero. You have a code. You're just like Superman. And she goes, well, I'm not Superman. Off he goes. Yeah.
I had a problem with that.
Yeah. There was a lot of political overtones to this film, and that was definitely. I'm glad you guys noticed that, because I was sitting there saying to myself, I know who you're supposed to represent, and I know now the actors' political aspirations. And I was like, okay, but anyway, yeah.
I had a problem with that. Although that's
but you can't use the actresses.
Just go in and smash it up sometimes.
Yeah. You can't justify her, because when he writes it, he's not he didn't say, oh yeah, I know I'm writing a story, but I'm going to cast her because she has this background and she'll fit for Hawker. He wrote the story first, then he casted her, right? So the story's already been written. No matter what actress is going to be in there, she's still going to be dropping him because that's what James Gunn wants to be done. Okay, so you can throw that because of her actress's background. You can throw that out. I find that not an acceptable answer, because any actress would be doing what she wanted her to do. You could have a born again Christian flying in there. Her actress is a born again Christian, and then James says, "This is what we have to do. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to show because not all these superheroes are the same. They don't live by the same code, right?" So yeah, the actress part, I don't think is a good statement. But you're right. It's like heroes are supposed not to kill, right? And but I liked it because of the simple thing is that they're not all the same. I mean, why would Guy Gardner have a Green Lantern ring? If you just look at the character from the movies, he's a prick, right? Why the hell?
He's a prick in the comics as well.
Yeah, but so why would the Lanterns give him the ring?
I don't think I've ever read a story that explains that.
I know. I have to find that out too. So you got a guy, an arrogant prick, basically telling Superman at one point to go, come on, let's go. You want to go, Big Blue? Let's do it. So, as much as it does have political statements over there, and unfortunately, you can't get away with it nowadays. There's always going to be people are always going to find political. This one's just a little bit more upfront about it. So I do like that thing that okay, I'm not Superman. Fuck you. There you go. Problem solved. So Crypto was fine, but
the retelling of Krypton.
The
retelling of Krypton. What did you guys think of that? Like where Superman wasn't sent to save Earth, he was sent to fuck as many women as he could.
I thought that was quite interesting. Yeah,
I mean, the fuck?
I have to be honest.
So I didn't really.
That's the thing too. I'm not a big Superman fan either.
Yeah. So I didn't really give that much of a shit.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was quite an interesting take, and I actually thought I kind of get it. You've got this sort of like this advanced race of people on an alien planet, and they know that they're all going to die. Then why not? Yeah, we're going to send you to a planet where you are going to be a Superman. Go off and carry on the Kryptonian name in our. It is what it is.
You'd have to go right back to the original storyline to find out what their premise was when they sent them. Was he sent there on purpose, or was he sent there by accident? I don't know.
Accident from the beginning. It was accident.
Yeah, okay, so it's an accident. So they've went from being an accident to being on purpose to be, and then now changing it to you're going to go there and you're going to rule. So next time, who knows? They'll change it that some other come up with a concept. And really, it was kind of, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, honestly, when they said, "Yeah, you're set to the rule." Okay, but that's not
the reason it came up is because people. The reason it came up is that people were like, they were expecting something in the thing to say, okay, it had been doctored, and by the end, when they realized, oh, it wasn't doctored, that's exactly what that they wanted. The leaders wanted them to, but not even conquering, but the thing about breeding with all the locals, like, I want you to go down there and fuck all the locals. It was just, it was like a cult thing. It was like, we want you to breed with all the women. It was weird to hear that dialogue.
To repopulate the Kryptonian race with an inferior genetic code, right?
Just to state that hey, you know what? We're just gonna fuck the locals. It's just really weird to hear that.
It was kind of weird. Yeah, I didn't expect that. I definitely did not expect that. But, it's a plot point. It is what it is. You know, it's like the reason why they sent Superman to Earth is one of the least important parts of any Superman story. Really, you know, I mean, it's an important part of the origin, obviously, but. I mean, how many Superman stories have you read or TV shows you've seen or movies have you watched where it really affects the actual plot of that particular story? It's like no one gives a shit about why he was sent there. He was sent there because Krypton exploded, you know, and that's it. It's just that it just got into Earth, and then everything else comes afterwards. So, you know, it's quite interesting that James Gunn made that choice. It is what it is. It's probably never going to come up again because who cares? Yeah, you know, it was a plot point. It was a MacGuffin.
I'll make a point now that it will come up again because I think it was a way to put Superman in a defensive position for all the future films where he's constantly having to say, "I'm sorry that my parents sent me here to conquer this planet." And I'll be proven right or wrong in the next 5 years.
Yeah. If it does come up as a recurring theme, then that will piss me off a little bit. I will be disappointed in that because it's like, it was an interesting choice in the first movie and it was a plot point and it got us from A to B, but I don't want them to lead into it because I don't give that much of a shit. It's not that important to me as a viewer.
Yeah. All right.
Where
we headed next?
Okay. We're heading next. So we got Superman out of the way. What do you got?
I would really, really like to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth because I know Scott is a massive fan of Jurassic Park.
I have not seen it yet.
You know what? Shitting me.
I have not seen it yet because you know what? It's coming out on video on August the 3rd, and I was looking. Really? I couldn't. It's coming out August the 3rd, and with the new big screen TV because Sue wanted to see it, and she's like, I would like to see that. I was like, you know what? I can wait 2 weeks. Yeah. So I was like, why not? But you know what, Paul? Let me guess. Dinosaurs ate people. And the good guys won in the end, and the dinosaurs are still on the island. I mean, it's. You can talk about it as much as you want. I'm pretty sure I know what one.
You can go ahead and talk about it all you want to, because I don't fucking care.
I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until after you've seen it because you'll have probably seen it by the next time we record. But I am going to give you some homework.
Okay.
Bear this in mind when you're watching it. There are 2 films that they're not directly referenced, but I immediately thought of these 2 films. And I'm not going to say anything more than that because I just want to see if you pick up on it. But there's a couple of things happen. One's near the start, one's near the end. That's a bit of a clue.
Can I guess? One of them's Raiders of the Lost Ark, because when I saw that fucking pterodactyl thing with the egg and everything, and them trying to take the egg out of there, I was like, that smells like a Raiders of the Lost Ark thing.
Actually, no, but it is interesting that you say that, but it's not.
All right.
One of them is...
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No, Paul.
It's a whole...
You gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta stop.
Right. Okay. I won't say anything more. But the 2 films, the names of those films, I want you to come back to me with the next time we speak about Jurassic Park.
Sure, I can do that.
Excellent.
Okay.
And I hope you had. I really hope that you spot it. I really hope that you see the same thing that I saw.
I'd be shocked if I didn't. So.
I've got one we can talk about.
One of them's brief. One of them is a whole scene. One of them's very brief.
All right, so let's talk about
the one
this
that's very brief. It's sort of like, you know, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio with the beam, like pointing at the screen. It's not like,
So we'll end the show on this one, and then we'll do next. But we'll end the show on this one because we've been trying to talk about this for a while. Craven the Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
good call. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. So, I watched it sort of.
Okay.
All right. So I watched it, but kind of paid attention to it. I had it on because I wanted to talk about it, so at least I watched it. This is Craven from Earth 678 or whatever Earth this is. This isn't Craven from 616. How about that?
Right.
Okay, this is a totally different world of Craven. This is not the Craven that we know and understand. This is a totally different one. So, yeah, it was all right. So,
yeah, it wasn't a $60 million film.
No, that's what it cost them. $60 million.
No, that's how much it made at the box office.
Oh, okay, all right. I don't know how much of the background that people knew of Craven, because movies are made for general public, not just comic book people. So I don't know how much of the public knew about it and how much that persuaded them. Yeah, you know what? It was all right. I don't really go into details with movies. It's just either did you entertain me, yes or no, and I was halfway entertained. So, okay.
I think this is kind of what me and Scott have been saying about it. It's everything on social media, everything you heard about it leading up to its release and around the time it was actually in theaters. Everybody would have you believe that it's one of the worst movies ever made, and it's actually not. I think we could all agree that at best it's okay, borderline, good. But if we're being generous, it's not shit. It is not a shit film. It's not terrible. It's reasonably entertaining, and there are some actually pretty cool bits in it that I actually enjoyed. So it baffles me that it was such a massive failure, and it's all down to social media and influencers. They should have just let it breathe. Should have just let people go and make their own decisions. But for some reason, somebody wanted it tanked.
Just unrelated to that, Russell Crowe was cast in Highlander. Part of me believes, there's just a theory, is that his performance in Craven kind of made that connection, and I think that that's part of the reason why he got that cast. Is what's that character's name in Highlander? His name escapes me. It's Sean Connery's.
Sean Connery. Sean Connery's character.
Yeah.
That's who's going to be playing in Highlander. Anyway, I think he got that because
Ramirez,
of that part in Craven. Ramirez, yeah. But anyway, just to put a bow on it, yeah, it wasn't near the shitty film that everyone put it out to be, and it kind of, I was thinking, it's kind of what if there could have been, like with the Chameleon, there's a what if there that they could have made a decent universe out of that, but oh well, it is what it is.
I thought it was kind of like you could see it coming right from the start that the young son would suddenly become the new bad guy. It's it's just okay. That's what I mean. Is like that's fuck. Come on with a different ending.
It was fine. It was fine. It's it's like I said. I think last time we spoke about it, after I'd finished it, I didn't regret watching it. I didn't think, well, that was a waste of 2 hours. It just
that was it.
It was fine.
It was like
it was fine.
So,
no,
go ahead. What do you got? We got a few more minutes here.
Okay, you want to end up? Because I got a movie kind of in that. Anyway, let's finish up the show if we're going to do that. We'll
okay.
The next one.
So we ended on Craven with Mike going, it's all right. You know what? I will say one thing. When I saw Anthony Taylor Johnson, is that his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. So for one moment, when he's walking in through the cell at the start, and he's just walking in, he looks, and I said, I see James Bond right there. Yes.
That was another thing. With the running along thing, when he was on the pier, I was thinking to myself, that was a James Bond preview. Possible preview.
Him just standing there, and you can see how big he is, and he's just kind of looking like, I'm gonna fuck somebody up. And it's like the confidence, the swagger he had walking in there says, "Come on, that's Bond right there."
Yeah. That's when that's when the conversation started for me.
So I think if they don't cast him as Bond, I
Him
could
or
just
Cavell, one or the other.
Cavell's got the look.
I think he's too old now. I think they wanted someone slightly younger. They wanted to. I think they want a slightly younger Bond, and they want to keep it going for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I think Henry Cavill's a little too old now.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Taylor Johnson's probably about the right age, and I'd be okay.
It'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious if Craven got a Bond. That would be hilarious. And you know what? You know what the thing is? That if he became Bond, that movie would probably do a ton of new digital sales.
Yeah. Digital sales or even views online. You hear so much now about how something's tanked, but now it's huge online, right?
Yes. And that's
so
I think that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was in 28 years later, but we'll talk about that on the next show.
Yeah.
And that'll bring people back in there in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, we're end it there. So thank you for turning in. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening. Thanks for whatever you're doing. As long as it's not dirty, I don't want to know about it. So we will take a break. We will be back with the next episode, but you'll have to wait a week before the next one. So, ciao, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So I'm gonna.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you. Come again.
Why, you little?